ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So, Catherine, you're back from your world travels. Tell us how everything went.
I
We
am.
enjoyed all the pictures that we saw and pretended like we were there for a second.
Yeah, it was really a great trip. I was with 16 or 15 other women to celebrate a birthday. And
Cool.
so I knew maybe 5 going into it.
Wow.
So now I know the other 10. And that was a lot of fun getting to meet them and get to know them. And we had a really wonderful time. And you know, surprisingly, we were able to kind of do things both in a large group and in smaller groups. And we got to see some wonderful things. We went to 2 islands, 2 Greek islands, Mykonos and Santorini. And then we also went to Athens.
Nice.
And yeah, it was really a lot of fun. You know, it's a long way to travel. It was pretty exhausting getting there and getting back. But it was really worth it.
How long did it take you to get there from your place?
Well, it was like first we drove about 3 hours to the airport. Then we flew to London, which was like, I don't know, 6 or so hours. And then we were supposed to fly directly to Mykonos, one of the islands, but we missed our connection.
Oh,
So
nice.
then we had to do Athens and then Mykonos. So that was kind of too bad because it would have been just such a nice, such a nicer way to go without having to make that extra stop.
yeah.
But it's fine. We got there. We got there, and Mykonos was beautiful. And one of the days that we were there, a smaller group of us rented a car, and my one friend drove it, and she's just fearless. It was amazing because, you know, all the roads are incredibly narrow, and there's no traffic control. Like there's no stoplights, there's no stop signs. There's
Wow. Every person for themselves.
Yeah, it really is. And you have to both negotiate with other drivers, and you have to just sometimes get aggressive and just go, because otherwise you'll be sitting there for half an hour.
Sounds like a New Jersey traffic circle.
Yeah. So she was amazing doing this.
Wow.
And so that was a really fun day, just driving around, exploring some of the island. And then Santorini is just incredible because it's basically an island that is the edge of a volcano crater. But the crater is, you know, full of water. It's so it's like a crescent shaped island.
Yeah.
And our hotel was like on the side of a cliff and overlooking this incredible view, and it was just awesome. It was amazing.
That's nice.
Oh, that is so great. The pictures were awesome. Your romper was awesome.
Yes,
The romper got its appearance.
Yeah. Fun.
I wore the other Abercrombie and Fitch item, which was a dress.
Oh, yes. I've seen that. Yes. It was lovely.
So that was fun. And yeah, it was a really incredible experience. In Athens, there is a relatively new museum down the hill from the Acropolis that contains a lot of the statues and other artifacts from the temples of the Acropolis. And it was a really, really cool museum, just well done and really fun to explore. And it has a glass floor to see the excavations that are going on underneath it.
Wow.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now what? Oh gosh, this just escaped me. Oh, the food.
Yes.
Okay, so I have this very definite idea of what Greek food is, but I've never, of course, been to Greece. So please tell me, is there lettuce in the Greek salad over there?
Nope.
Thank you. Okay.
No
Nicole
lettuce.
is justified.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm justified.
It's tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, onions, olives, and feta cheese. And it is so good. And I think I ate one every single day. And I never got tired of it.
Oh, I love
the food.
Greek salad.
The food was great. It's grilled fish and Greek salad and a tzatziki, which is like the yogurt and cucumber sauce.
Hummus?
Yep, hummus. Just all of it was so good. And every morning, like the breakfast buffet, that was just like, I really am disappointed that is not happening anymore now that I'm home.
Aw.
No buffet. So just very quickly, to all the people in California who are listening to this, when you order Greek salad and get lettuce in your Greek salad, that is not Greek salad. Thank you.
Take it out.
My public service announcement.
But do you like the other things that are in the Greek salad, Nicole?
I do, because it's usually covered in like a olive oily kind of a spicy kind of thing, and then I cut them up in little pieces.
But the lettuce crosses the line. You can't deal with the lettuce.
Like, where did that come from? Right? Did you get the potatoes? Did you have the lemon potatoes?
No, but we had a lot of French fries that were quite delicious.
Yeah. So no, I cut them up and then I eat them with my other things. Mm-hmm.
You disguise them.
The food was so good, and it was basically the same everywhere, but it was so tasty, and I never got sick of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, now that you've made me very joyous about that Greek salad news,
yeah,
I am motivated to do the opening to this roundabout.
Very good.
Okay. I'm in the right mood now.
She's inspired.
So, hello and welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Nicole Erdix, and with me today are Terri Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hi.
And today on the podcast, we are talking about summer birthdays. On our speed round, we are going to shout out some stuff that we like on the Parenting Roundabout and do some shameless self-promotion. But first, let's do a little comparing and contrasting. Uh-oh.
That's right. Well, since we're in the heart of summer vacation at this point, we thought we would talk a little bit about how our kids' summer vacations compare to our own childhood summer times. So for me, my kids have me at home with them, but they've always done a combination of camps, and when they were pretty little, they did still go to daycare during the summer. But now that they're a little older and they're kind of too old for a lot of things, they're at home with me. Whereas when I was a kid, we always had a caregiver with us all summer. I didn't do a lot of summer camps. Like I don't think I ever did the traditional like overnight camp thing, which my kids have done and enjoy. But we always had somebody with us, like it or not. No matter how old we were, we had somebody. So, and I can remember at least one of them, my parents were both professors of education. So we always had like grad students as our caregivers. And so they would have a schedule. They would have a curriculum, and it would just be like, today is green day and we're going to wear green clothes and eat green food. And
wow.
Yeah.
They would do the curriculum. The student or the...
No, the student.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So we do stuff like that. So it's, and I do not, now that I am the primary caregiver to my kids, I do not have special days like that. I'm just trying to get through each day as it comes. How about you as a teacher, Nicole? Did you ever want to do stuff like that with your kids, or were you like, I am off the clock right now?
Oh, yeah. It's so different because I grew up, like where I grew up was in a, as you know, was in a really, really small community. And so there was no because it was such a small community. I mean, we did swim lessons. That was kind of our most structured activity. And then after that, it was a free for all. Like we were told to leave the house and
don't come back.
When 9 o'clock town siren goes off. So we
had a bell at my house.
Yeah. So there was a town siren, and every kid on the street had to be in the house when the siren went off. And so like literally, it was like we were free range kids. We we did our own. Like I can just, I just have all these images of the trails and the forts and the, and some of it wasn't. I mean, it was fun for the most part. And then other times, I wish that I had something more structured to do, but my kids, of course, have had totally different childhoods because of where we live. We live in a rural area within a larger, city, and there isn't a lot of opportunity to free range. So my kids have been, we're in camps, and it's funny. This year is like the first unstructured summer that my daughter kind of has. Like we're going on vacation, but just for the first part, and then after that we're like, what is she going to do? She's got to get a job. She's got, I feel like she's got to do something because it's been about a week and a half since she's been out of school, and she's just kind of been relaxing around the house, and it's driving me crazy.
Yes.
I'm like, get outside and don't come home till 9 o'clock. No. But this is really her first unstructured summer, which is kind of strange. And so it just a totally different world that they're growing up in than what I did. Totally different. So nothing the same. How about you, Terry?
I guess mine was sort of the same in that my mom didn't work, so she was always home and she would be, available to do things with me. I had a lot of friends in the neighborhood. That was back when you could just, wander the neighborhood and go into other people's houses and hang out for a while. And, so I would do stuff with my friends. I always went to camp, or usually went to camp, because I was always ambitious. I wanted to take the longest camp and do the biggest thing and go the furthest distance and all this stuff, which my parents usually said no. But I did go to camps.
You tried.
To varying degrees of success. I think I've talked about the one sleepover the sleepaway camp where once they said that they were going to bring egg salad on the hike. I said, oops, I'm sick. Got to go home. But I remember some church camps and some music camps and stuff I went to that were very fun. And, swim lessons, all that summer type stuff. But I remember it as being very unstructured and, a lot of time at home, a lot of time doing things, and just kind of a break from school. And with my kids, it's been a little more complicated. I mean, I try to keep things very structured and routine oriented because that's what they need. And there was always the feeling that the summer was a chance to catch up a little bit before the next school year came, which not very fun for me or them. It's like, oh, good, we're going to read these books now. We're going to do this project. We're going to work on this. We're going to develop this skill. Can we go back to school, please? So, and so you would have more therapy over the summer, or you would do this and that. Camp was difficult because, especially with my son, there weren't that many camps he could go to. There was a very nice special needs camp we went to for a little while, but boy, was it expensive. And after a while, I started feeling like they weren't, I think they specialized in kids with autism, and both of my kids had some overlaps, but they weren't actually autistic. And so I felt like they weren't getting, my full money's worth from it. So we would always be looking for a program that would have them. The church had a summer program, but I had to pay a paraprofessional from school to go with my son and be in it. And it was things like that. One summer I did a camp mom where some of his friends came over and all us moms together put together a program. And we did then have that sort of regimented theme day sort of thing. We had a field trip every week, and we had projects, and we had a schedule, and that worked out very well. But boy, was it a lot of work. It was non-sustainable in that when it was done, I thought, I don't think I can do this again.
Right.
Right.
So,
and you needed the other people to be as committed as
Yeah, well, and they were, but I'm bossy, so I would take the most stuff. That's partially my fault, but it was at my house. I was the only one of the moms that drove, so I had to go pick everybody up, bring them to my house, then bring them home after, drive on the field trips, which I didn't mind while I was doing it, but when it was done, it was like, that was really kind of a lot.
Yeah.
So if my son had been younger when we started doing that, I probably would have done it a few more summers, but he was just getting into high school, and then he could get a summer job through the school. And so summers for us have always been a project. There's always been some significant thing we were going to try to do over the summer. And sort of going back to, it was a relief for school to be out and not have the homework and all that stuff, but then it was always kind of a relief for school to be back and it to be somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way with, without having some of the issues that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I enjoy the lack of homework and getting up in the morning, but then I'm not too sad when it starts back up again.
Okay, I'm off duty now.
Right.
Go back. Have somebody else create your structure every minute of the day. And there's always the worry that, at a certain point in the summer, my job becomes harassing people to make sure the things they've promised to do in the next school year would actually get done. So that was always a nice special stress point in my summer, as August approaches. And
you're talking about harassing the people at school, not your children.
Not my children. Well, arguably. But no, I'm talking about, calling the special ed office every day for a month saying, that paraprofessional that I have in this legal document that you're going to provide? Just want to make sure you're providing it.
Make sure you're working on that.
Making sure that the car seat is going to be on the school bus the first day, that the school bus is going to come on the first day, that can we have a tour of the new school and things like this. So there's a certain amount of setup for the new school year that was always a part of my summers. And now everybody's just home all the time. So I don't have any of that anymore. And
sorry
not sure
about that. My dog has something to say about
apparently so
being paid attention to during summer time.
Is she saying, Mom, it's come to my attention there are cats here?
Oh, yes. That's the one thing that is very different to our summers now than what they were before.
Mom, perhaps you didn't know there are large rodents in the house. Would you like me to take care of them for you?
Two cats and 23 fish. Yes.
Oh, my.
Life is fun.
Yeah. Well, Missy has grounds for complaint, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when the one cat decides, I'm sorry, we're getting off topic.
Yes.
But decides to get up at 4:30 in the morning and roam our kitchen and knock over a glass of water onto the floor. Anyway, that's a whole other topic for another day.
Oh, dear.
But, yeah.
One thing about summers that was always part of my life when I was a kid was a summer birthday. My birthday being June 30th. You missed it. And
but you didn't miss mine. It's coming.
My birthday was always close enough to the end of school because when I was growing up, I think school went all through to the end of June. So you kind of could get that you were sort of the end of the school year birthday party. But I know for many families, summer birthdays are a problem and sort of get lost in the shuffle of summer activities and the end of school ease of handing out invitations. So we thought for our speed round today, we would talk about summer birthdays and whether it is better or worse than a Christmas birthday or a birthday at just some nondescript point during the year when everybody has their mind on other things. So, Catherine, you are a fellow summer birthday person. How did you experience that when you were growing up?
I didn't love it, although my birthday is pretty close to the 4th of July, so that would end up being the party adjacent. Because in my family, basically, every birthday was combined with something.
Oh, dear.
Like my brother's birthday is close to Thanksgiving. Everything was a twofer. And I didn't really do a lot of friend birthday parties. That just wasn't something my parents were into organizing. So it was just a once in a while thing. But I really missed out, I felt, on being able to celebrate at school. Like bring a treat and be acknowledged and celebrated at school. So sometimes the teachers would do like half birthdays or something or they would let you just pick a day, if your birthday was in the summer, you could pick some other day during the school year to observe it. So that was nice when teachers would do that. It was probably the teachers that had summer birthdays that, that did that.
Yeah, I really don't remember if I ever had a birthday celebration at school. I don't know if that was a thing. Was that always a thing? I don't know.
No, I never had it.
You never had it because you had a summer birthday or because it just wasn't done?
It wasn't a thing. I mean, I have an April birthday, so I was able to have kids around because who goes where in April? Like it's a pretty low key month, but so there were kids, but it wasn't a thing to celebrate your birthday at school. It was it was just not even exist. It didn't even exist. But my husband he has an August 1st birthday. And in Canada, that was like double whammy because that was a long weekend. So even if, you were around that summer, you still went away on the long weekend. That was like the camping long weekend in Canada. And so he had nobody around. So he often complains about how he didn't have his friends around for his birthday. And, and my kids, my son he has a long weekend birthday as well. So we usually did something beforehand. And then my daughter is like 2 weeks after Christmas. And that could be just as bad.
Yeah.
You can't get the invites out. Nobody's around or, they're busy dealing with Christmas. So, yeah. So anyway, yes.
Yeah. My husband's family, their birthdays are all like at the very beginning of the year, from Christmas through mid-February. They're all bunched up.
Oh, busy.
Yeah, it's a lot of presents to think about in a short period of time when you're a new wife who suddenly has been served up with that job.
Right. Yes. And my kids' birthdays are one day apart. They're in April, but they're one day apart. And so they tend to run into spring break, which is another issue of, my son will be like, why do I have to have my party 3 weeks after my birthday? Because no one's home. All your friends are gone. So, and, when they were very little, we would do combined celebrations and that was nice. But that they outgrew that pretty quickly.
Sadly.
And then you had the issue of like every relative wanting to know what they want, and it was tiring. It wore me out.
Yeah.
So basically, there's no good time. Everyone should just lay off and
just have a National Birthday Day, and everybody just says happy birthday to each other, and then we can be done with it.
Right, and then we can be done with it.
Nobody's paying attention. Around here we go out to dinner for birthdays, and it's just become a agonizing thing because none of us are really all that eager to go out to dinner, and so we're trying to think of a special place. Where do we want to go? A week ahead of time, it starts asking, where do you want to go? And it becomes this burden.
We do that too.
It's very nice, and I appreciate it. And then you go, and it's ridiculously expensive, and you think, I could have just gone somewhere and spend this money on something that will last longer than a meal.
Right.
But I think that's old lady stuff. Getting perilously close to a decade marker. Next year, I will be weeping when we talk about my birthday, but I'm still in my late 50s for one more year.
We will celebrate you here on the podcast.
We'll see. Maybe I'll be going to Greece. Well, that will be it for our speed round for today anyway. And remember that you can hear a new speed round every Wednesday through Friday.
Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode of Parenting Roundabout. We're not one of those podcasts that's trying to sell you websites or mattresses or meal kits. I mean, we totally would, but no one's asked us yet.
There is, however, something you can do that costs you nothing, but will put a little change in our pockets. Listen to our podcast on the Radio Public app. Download the app to your iPhone or Android device and listen to Parenting Roundabout there, and we'll get paid for each listen. Plus a little more if you listen a lot.
We think you'll enjoy listening to all your podcasts on this app, but if you could at least listen to Parenting Roundabout there, we'd be very grateful. Now, back to the episode.
Yeah, so we bring you some of the things that we have seen or read recently or used that we want to shout out and share with you. And I'm not going to go first. So, Terri, Catherine, you can...
I'll go first. Okay. It's been some weeks ago now since the Tony Awards, but I always like to watch them to kind of hear numbers from new musicals and see if any of them make me want to go listen to the cast album. And this year, I was quite taken with The Band's Visit. I had heard little bits and pieces of the score. I think they did a Tiny Desk concert on NPR. And the song that they performed at the Tonys was one I had heard before, but it made me go check it out, and I really, really like it. And I've been playing it a lot, and it just sticks in my mind like glue, and so I'm walking around whistling songs from it. My family is looking at me strangely. But if you enjoy musicals, and if you haven't really caught up with that one yet, it won just a barrel full of Tonys that night. You can find... I'm listening to it on Apple Music. It is there. It is also on genius.com. You could probably listen to it there. If you go to YouTube and Google it, you can find not only the songs, but also performances of them from various places. They've been performing the numbers. So it's really very nice. And you can also go on Wikipedia and read the entire plot, which is the way I experience theater now. I listen to the cast album and I read the plot on Wikipedia. And I imagine that I have money to go see stuff like that. But anyway, I recommend it. The Band's Visit. Check it out.
Okay.
Not the actually expensive tickets, but the free-ish music online.
Right.
Oh. How about you, Catherine?
Well, on my way home from Greece, I had the opportunity to watch a lot of screen time. And because on the way there, I was trying to sleep, but on the way home, it was daytime. So I watched a couple things, and one of them was the recent Masterpiece Theater little mini-series on PBS of Little Women. Wow. And it was a 3-parter, so 3 hours, and starring as Jo March was Maya Hawke, who is Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter, and who looks exactly like Uma Thurman. So I spent the whole time almost being like, wow, she really looks like Uma Thurman. That was pretty much my thought bubble for the whole thing. But I enjoyed it. You know, it was good. Watching, except for the part where I was weeping a lot, which is a little embarrassing. But it was fun, and I thought it was a nice adaptation and enjoyable to watch. Okay. And probably you can find it on pbs.org or on demand on your cable or something like that.
Still attached in my mind to the old Winona Ryder, Trini Alvarado, Claire Danes, Kirsten Dunst version.
True. I mean, this one, it's been a long time since I've seen that one, but, they did certainly capture the brattiness of Amy and the saintliness of Beth and all that. Just so, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Little Women on PBS.
Good. And then I've decided what I wanted to shout out. And actually, I just discovered these, and I know that they've been around for a while, but I've used these for various trips, and they're awesome. They're compression bags for traveling. So you're like a big old plastic Ziploc bag, basically.
Is this the packing cube or something different?
Not the cube. It's something different. It's just like, just think of a large Ziploc bag, and then you put your clothes in it, and then you zip it tight, but somewhere in the bag, there's a mysterious hole that lets out air, because you actually then start to roll the clothes like you would roll like like a tent up, or if you would roll, you start to roll it up really tightly, like if you're rolling paper, and it lets all the air out. And then like your huge pile of clothes becomes like an inch high. So it's awesome. I mean, you don't get rid of the weight. Well, not, the weight's relatively the same, but you sure free up space. So it's great because you can definitely, you have a lot of room to work with in the suitcase. Yes. Highly recommend them. Called,
cool.
I just looked online, but it says that they're currently unavailable, but there are so many other kinds, other brands out there available. And I highly recommend those.
Nice.
So,
great.
My shout out.
Good for those who travel.
Yes.
Like me.
And now for our final segment today, we're going to do a little shameless self-promotion and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. I do have something new up at Highlights, and this was kind of a fun one. I've been writing about child development and parenting for a real long time, since before I had kids. But this was sort of interesting. It was about, the title is The Serious Value of Silly Sounds, and it's about how things like animal sounds or saying like zoom, zoom when you're driving a toy car is actually an important part of language development. And I never knew that. So interesting. Like, why would it matter if your kid knows like a cow says moo or whatever? But it turns out that it is valuable for them to know that and to make those sounds. So that is that piece over at Highlights.
Oh.
And Terry, what do you have?
Well, I think I've said this before, but I'm back to it again. I'm trying to be more conscientious on my special needs news tweets Twitter account. I just find special needs related stories all over the internet, and I tweet them so that you can easily find them. And you can follow that to see those come across. For a while, it's just mostly been podcast stuff, but I'm getting back to going through my Feedly and picking out good stuff and tweeting it. So you can follow it there. And if you like that, check out my Patreon page, because that's one of the rewards, is I will write up a post of news from all over that you can get it all in one big clump.
Awesome.
Nice. And how about you, Nicole?
Yeah, so we've just, there's a group of us on Twitter that often talk about inclusive education, and you can follow us under hashtag iechat, and we've restarted our tweet chat. So we get together at a certain time, which is Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we meet up on Twitter under the hashtag iechat, and we just talk about all things related to inclusive education. So, and lots of really cool people are on the chat, and experts and just people who you might have never had a chance to interact with or meet in real life. So it's pretty cool to chat and talk to people about that. So
nice.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. You can listen to podcast episodes on Radio Public or download them from Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe so that you get all of our podcasts and mini podcasts.
You can also follow us on Twitter, where I am at Nicole Erdix, Catherine is at CHaleko, and Terry is at Momitude. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat, and look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram too.
Best of all, stop by our podcast page at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on everything we've mentioned, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Morin at johnjmorin.com for providing our in and out music. And I wish everyone a great week.